Thank you for watching Inspire Math videos. Today we're going to study how to square integers. Let's review how to multiply or divide integers. If you have only multiplications and divisions, you can find the sign first and then calculate the amount afterwards. Let's review the sign rule for multiplications and divisions. Since divisions can be changed to multiplications, the sign rule for divisions is the same as multiplication. Let's summarize this by using a table. We've studied positive times or divided by positive is equal to positive, and negative times or divided by negative is positive. This is called double negatives. Now positive times or divided by negative is equal to negative, and negative times or divided by positive is equal to negative. They are called single negative. The sign is negative if you multiply negative odd times, and the sign is positive if you multiply negative even times. Now let's review squares. Do you remember what squares are? Square means multiplying the number 2 times. It is an exponent. For example, 6 squared. This means multiplying 6 2 times. So 6 squared is equal to 6 times 6. By the way, we can use a dot instead of a multiplication sign, and it can be expressed as 6.6. The next example is a squared. This means multiplying a 2 times. So a squared is equal to a times a. Again, we can use a dot instead of a multiplication sign. It can be expressed as a dot a. In math, if we are dealing with variables, we can also eliminate a multiplication sign. So we could express this as a. By the way, for integers, we can't eliminate a multiplication sign. 6 times 6 can't be expressed as 66. They are completely different. The third example is bracket squared. This means multiplying brackets 2 times. So bracket squared is equal to bracket times bracket. Again, we can use a dot instead of a multiplication sign. It can be expressed as bracket dot bracket. We could also express this as bracket bracket. Now let's see some common squares that are good to know. 0 squared is equal to 0. 1 squared is equal to 1. 10 squared is equal to 100. 11 squared is equal to 121. 12 squared is equal to 144. 13 squared is equal to 169. 14 squared is equal to 196. And 15 squared is equal to 225. Let's try some questions. The first question is negative 5 squared. A common mistake is doing negative 5 times negative 5. But this is wrong. Let's see what was wrong. As you can see, 2 is a square, which is an exponent. And between negative and 5, we see nothing. This means that there is a multiplication sign in between. By the order of operations, we need to calculate the exponent first. 5 squared is equal to 5 times 5. The negative sign just stays the same. So negative 5 squared is equal to negative 5 times 5. The exponent only affects the integer 5, but not the negative sign. Now there is only one negative sign, so the answer will have the sign negative. And the amount is 5 times 5, which is 25. So the answer is negative 25. The second question is brackets negative 7 squared. Do you remember what bracket squared is? This is just bracket times bracket. So brackets negative 7 squared is equal to negative 7 times negative 7. Now there are two negative signs, so the answer will have the sign positive, and the amount is 7 times 7, which is 49. So the answer is positive 49 or just 49. The third question is negative bracket negative 9 squared. A common mistake is doing negative times negative is positive. So this becomes 9 squared, which is 81. Let's see what is wrong. 2 is a square, which is an exponent, and we need to calculate bracket negative 9 squared first. Brackets negative 9 squared is equal to bracket negative 9 times bracket negative 9. The negative sign just stays the same. Now there are 3 negative signs, so the answer will have the sign negative, and the amount is 9 times 9, which is 81. So the answer is negative 81. Let's look at 3 more questions. The fourth question is negative 11 squared. Again, the square only affects 11, so we need to calculate 11 squared first. Do you remember what 11 squared is? 11 squared is equal to 121. The negative sign just stays the same. So negative 11 squared is equal to negative 11 times 11. Now there is only one negative sign, so the answer will have the sign negative, and the amount is 11 times 11, which is 121. So the answer is negative 121. The fifth question is brackets negative 13 squared. In this case, the square affects the whole bracket. So brackets negative 13 squared is equal to bracket negative 13 times bracket negative 13. Now there are 2 negative signs, so the answer will have the sign positive, and the amount is 13 times 13, which is 169. So the answer is positive 169 or just 169. The last question is negative brackets negative 15 squared. The square only affects what is inside the bracket, so we need to calculate brackets negative 15 squared first. Brackets negative 15 squared is equal to bracket negative 15 times bracket negative 15. The negative sign just stays the same. Now there are 3 negative signs, so the answer will have the sign negative, and the amount is 15 times 15, which is 225. So the answer is negative 225. Here are some challenge questions. Try them out. Sample solutions are linked under the video. Hope you can solve them. Thank you for watching Inspire Math videos. Please subscribe if you'd like to join our Inspire Math tutoring community. There are some related videos linked below. Thank you and have a good one.